It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
The Guinness World Record for longest boat parade, we attempted for a second time this year. Missouri has their new head coach on the basketball side, sixth new head coach in the last 22 years. We'll talk about that. We'll catch you up on the NCAA March Madness. We're not doing as hot as we thought.
Not doing good at all. I'm done.
We'll catch you up on that. And one of the biggest free agent signings of the NFL free agency period happens to be your Kansas City Chiefs, and no one's talking about it. Those stories and a whole lot more on this week's Cup of Coffee with Will and Chris after this word from Slumberland.
Hey everyone, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. I'm sitting here today at a little outdoor set. I know this week the weather's calling for some nasty stuff, but before long we're going to want to get outside and enjoy this great Ozark weather. Come see us. We have tons of stuff available, ready to go, and it's all on sale. Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake, where we're bringing happy home.
Yep, come down and see Daryl and their crew. They'll get you all fixed up. Last weekend we did photos here. Their crew is awesome. A good-looking crew. Tom Kitchen, Studio T Images. Him and Michelle came and got some great photos of the Slumberland crew, and I'll tell you, they'll take care of you. So our first local headline on the show this week, Chris. So last summer it was a big story. There was a lot of negativity surrounding it. A second attempt to break the Guinness record for largest boat parade is going to take place. The TCLA is moving forward with this, and they're going to be looking to break the record for the largest boat parade on Saturday, June 11th. Now, before you guys get carried away, I've seen some negative on social media. The organizers and the people behind this have made some big changes to make this easier and should be a lot smoother this year, and I think they're going to beat that record.
Yeah, last year, I thought they did extremely well last year because it was kind of a last-minute idea. I remember when, I think it was Mary Kay's idea, right?
Yep, Mary Kay Von Brendel.
From the Ozarks Amphitheater, and she didn't really think of this until like May.
Right.
So we kind of threw that all together. They did it a little later in the year last year, but it still had over 600 boats last year. So they really did amazingly well, not enough to break the record. So I think with a year of experience in the books, they've made some really good changes to this. I'm pretty sure they're going to break it this year. I think we'll have a new world's record this year.
Yeah, and like you alluded to, you try to do what really is 4, 5, 6 months of planning, and you try to cram that into 5, 6 weeks. That's what happens. You came up a little short, but they learned so much about how to better maneuver this. Last year the entry fee was $50. They've lowered that this year to $20, which is smart because a lot of fight back on that, and they're looking at creative ways to make it more feasible for more people. Now, there are some rules according to the press release or the story from lakeexpo.com. They're looking for Saturday, June 11th will be the day. Last year's boat parade, as you said, drew plenty of attention, over 600. And Legina Fitzpatrick, who's the executive director for the TCLA, says they drew people from outside the area that brought their boat down just to participate in the parade. 9 states represented, according to Fitzpatrick. Now, currently the Guinness World Record is held in Malaysia, and that number is 1,180 boats. And this year, Fitzpatrick is hoping for 1,200 participants. But you got to be careful because there's some ways you can get disqualified. And Fitzpatrick goes on to say, you're not supposed to be flying political flags. Now, these are Guinness World Record guidelines. For those of you who want to tote your Trump flag, whether or not I can blame you for that, you cannot do it in this parade and count. So be mindful if you want to be part of this big record. They are making a few other changes. They're going to move the parade to the Grand Glaze Arm to help maintain a no-wake idle speed. Like I said, they're lowering the entry fee. And last year it was designed as a fundraiser. Of course, it was Missouri Bicentennial, Chris, and they had that fireworks show. But this year, it's only going to cost $20. They're not going to include a T-shirt, but you're still going to get your flag that you're going to hang. It's going to identify you as being in the parade. Now, if there are any funds left over from that $20 entry fee, then they're going to donate it to the Lake of the Ozarks Water Safety Council. But Fitzpatrick says, as far as turnout, I'm confident this will be the year that Lake of the Ozarks breaks the record. Other sponsors can get involved. Of course, the title sponsor is Mortgage Headquarters. They're the Grand Marshal. They're going to be in that start boat, and that's a big sponsorship. They put up a big amount of money for that, so big shout out to Mortgage Headquarters. And like I said, other sponsors are welcome, or if you want to find out more information, you can contact Legina Fitzpatrick at the TCLA 573-348-0111. You want to go to www.funlake.com. Wait for it. /events /boat-pray. That's a mouthful. Hopefully Andy puts that up on screen. But June 11th, and it's really a cool concept. All the negativity, I want to tell you, take it elsewhere, because there's a cool thing for the lake area, and they're making adjustments. This will be more feasible, and I assume you and Michelle, you might be in your track team.
We did last year's, right? And it was an interesting experience. But I think it's going to be so much better this year because of what they learned from last year. And it is June 11th at 11 a.m. So remember the 11s, June 11th, 11 a.m. And they want, the record right now is 1,180 boats, and they want to beat that by have some room, because they did last year disqualify a lot of boats.
Yeah.
Right? Either because the boats weren't flying the flag that had identified them as part of being a part of this boat parade. You got to put that flag up. If you got a Trump or a Biden flag on there, you got to take those off, right? Because again, according to Guinness, if you're flying any political flag on your boat, you get disqualified, right? So you don't count. So so those are just some things you got to know going in. But I think the biggest change, other than the $50 to $20, I think, some people were upset about that. But the biggest change is they changed the course site. They're starting it now. Last year they started it like in between Dog Days and Paradise, and they ran it, down toward the Four Corners. And there was a lot of boat traffic, just general boat traffic that caused a lot of waves.
Right.
It was kind of a mess. It was kind of hard to remain at idle speed like they wanted you to do and not just get rocked. So this year they're moving it further down by the Grand Glaze Bridge down there on the other side of the bridge. And so things should be a lot calmer, a lot smoother, should be more enjoyable for the boaters, which is key. And they're doing it at 11 a.m. this year. Last year, I think they started it like at 8 or 9 in the morning. That means you had to get up like at 6, jump in the boat, go all the way up to wherever the holding area was and wait there for an hour or two. This, I think, is going to make it a lot easier. 11 o'clock, people are up, ready to go. It won't be that big of a deal. I think there are enough PWCs. There are enough jet skis at the Lake of the Ozarks that could break that world record alone.
Right.
If they can get jet ski people fired up, in the mix, get at the front of the line, they alone could break that record.
And we'll have Legina Fitzpatrick on here in the next couple of weeks to talk more about that. But mark your calendar, June 11th. We'll keep you posted. Next local story, Lake Area Chamber officially announces their new executive director, Morgan Crenshaw, named executive director. And according to President Cole Bradbury, she brings a wealth of experience in and around Lake business community, and we know will serve our members well. She's responsible for the successful leadership and management of the Chamber according to the strategic direction set by their board of directors. Now, Crenshaw's currently the area sales and marketing director for Arrowhead Senior Living Community. Familiar with that off KK. And then prior to that, she spent over 4 years with the former Osage Beach Outlet Marketplace. Now, first she was the director of marketing and business development. Then she was promoted to their general manager. She stated, "I'm thrilled to come back to the Chamber. I've seen this amazing organization and community from several different perspectives, and I can't wait to grow the Chamber's role and value our members and see what we can do for them." Now, she was with them as the Chamber's membership director from 2012 to 2014, and as a board member from 2015 through last year, 21. So she's very familiar, and I will tell you, working with her both with the Outlet Mall and also with Arrowhead Senior Living Community, they knocked this hire out of the park. Morgan is a go-getter, incredibly charismatic, great with local businesses. She's a blockbuster hire for the chamber, and I think that she will do great things. And this is an important position for the Lake area.
Yeah, it really is. They're looking for a new leader over at the Lake West Chamber right now. It's a tough job because you're herding cats, right? You're working with 600 businesses, and you're trying to keep them all happy and move them all in the right direction and stuff like that. So it's not an easy job unless you've got the right personality and experience and skills. Hopefully Morgan does. It sounds like she does. She's familiar, as you said, with the chamber, has been a part of that for a long, long time. Pretty much knows everybody involved. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. I think this is going to be a really good thing.
And she's been here, like I said, those 2 jobs here in the Lake area, incredibly involved on the board, membership director. So she's familiar with the role and kind of how the operations work. And I think it's onward and upward for the Lake Area Chamber of Commerce. So congratulations to the board for getting this hire right. I mean, that's a blockbuster hire in a time when it's not easy to find qualified candidates for important positions. So really cool. We'll keep you guys posted, and we'll also keep you posted on the Lake West, because I know they have been getting closer and closer to narrowing down their list of people they've interviewed for their new executive director. So we hope to have an answer on that position filled here in the near future as well. All right, so those of you out there with a green thumb, as well as being in the healthcare industry, Missouri Department of Conservation, pretty cool project or program they've offered or launched to offer free trees for healthcare workers.
Yeah, it's kind of, when I saw this story, it was like, all right, they're giving out free trees to healthcare workers, and I thought, well, I guess that's all right. So, yeah, if you're a healthcare worker, MDC going to give you a free tree, basically, right? Healthcare workers, as we know, have really, really had a tough couple of years. Between COVID, all that crap going on, and the mandates and all that stuff. So the MDC excited to partner with the Arbor Day Foundation and the Missouri Community Forestry Council. And so March 15th, healthcare workers in MDC's central region can reserve a tree by visiting, you got to go online. Here's another website for you. It's arborday.org/mow trees. Right, so a 1 gallon.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, again, Andy, thank you for putting that up on screen for us. A 1 gallon tree of their choice will be mailed to their home for absolutely free.
How cool is that? Not only are they coming up with all of these trees, they're also mailing them to your home, which is not cheap. And I'll tell you, this alone could make Unique want to go get into the healthcare industry.
There you go,
because she's going to get a free tree. Our house is surrounded with trees and plants, and this is cool. There's research and science that shows having a living plant in your home can relieve different things, from anxiety to stress to improve the airflow or quality. So a lot of things can be benefited from plants. And I think that's pretty cool for the Missouri Department of Conservation.
Are you one of those people that
workers.
Sings to your plants, talks to your plants?
Not me. Unique, yes. Like, she in the morning gets up before everybody else, and she typically has conversations with Roger. Every plant has a name.
Roger?
Yeah, that's our money tree, Roger. We got it from Rogers, Arkansas, from a farmer's market. Everywhere we go on little trips, we like the little mini 2 and 3 day trips when we can get away. We always buy a plant from the area we visit. We also buy a coffee mug, and Unique will come up with a name, and then she mothers these plants, and they outgrow their pot. I gotta go buy a whole bunch of more terrariums and pots, and I mean, it's ongoing, but I don't. Unique does.
I'll have to meet Roger the next time I'm over there.
He's growing, which means, we're going to eventually be prosperous. That's what a money tree
I did see
means.
Brindley the other night at Sing Your Heart Out. She's really growing.
Oh, she's a monster.
Wow.
She's 18 months, and she's going on like 18, She's already in 2-teeth clothing, but I'll start crying if you start getting me talking about it. All right, so on to sports and national stories. The search for the new man leading the charge for the University of Missouri Tigers basketball program. The search is over. Officially, the Board of Curators announced on Tuesday morning Dennis Gates, the new head coach for the Missouri Tigers, replaces Kunzo Martin after a dismal campaign. And Gates, if you're not familiar with the name, he comes from Cleveland State. According to ESPN, this article printed Saturday, but actually it was Tuesday morning. Gates flew into Columbia and met with the Board of Curators. They approved his hire, and Gates, he won back-to-back Horizon League regular season titles, 2020, 2021 at Cleveland State. And then he took his team to the NCAA tournament back in 21 last year. Also spent 8 seasons under Leonard Hamilton at Florida State, where he established himself as one of the country's top young assistant coaches. In 3 years at Cleveland State, Chris, he went 50-40, which, not incredibly impressive. Small sample size, 2 regular season crowns for the Horizon League, and he did go 38-21 in league play. That's more telling for me because you really, when you look at college basketball, you can tell how good you are playing within your own conference. That's typically the way you're able to recruit certain athletes. That's the echelon of talent and skill set you typically get. And a lot of times when you're playing in the Horizon League, your non-conference schedule is loaded with major D1 programs in the Power 6 conferences. So I would expect him to be closer to 500. But in league play, 38-21, that's about a 65% win completion. If you can do that in the SEC, you'll be very successful. Cleveland State, of course, in the Horizon League, but he had interest all over the country, believe it or not. Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, LSU, and a majority of the other open major conference jobs had been in contact with Gates. Now, of course, like I said, he replaces Coach Martin. He spent 5 years at the helm, 78-77, and it's the first marquee hire in a revenue sport for our first-year athletic director at the University of Missouri, Desiree Reed Francois, and she arrived at Missouri in August. Didn't waste long. Right after the first round exit of the SEC tournament, they announced that Martin was out, started this nationwide search, and officially they land on Dennis Gates. And I'll say not a lot of style points here. Like a lot of Missouri Nation, a lot of my friends, a lot of the alumni, a lot of the big boosters I know, they were looking for a bigger name, Buzz Williams maybe, trying to talk Altman out of Oregon. There were talks about McCollum at the Division II level, but they land on Dennis Gates. He's young, he's charismatic, and I think for Missouri Nation, being one of the biggest Missouri basketball fans you'll ever meet, the last 2 years I've been calling Coach Martin, I don't care who it is, put in a water bottle full, I care, get him out of there. I'm excited about Coach Gates. He's young, 42 years old, and he's been in the tournament. He's won conference championships. And a lot of people, like I said, they didn't like this hire, not stylish enough. I think you got to give the guy a chance. He's been successful in the Horizon League, and he's now the head guy. And so time will tell. This is the new era in Mizzou basketball.
I'm not impressed. Sometimes when you just make a lateral move, it's like, why? So we talked last week, they had some really good options. And maybe they went after these options and got turned down. Maybe they went after Dana Altman and Dana said, no, thanks. Maybe they went after.
Why would Altman leave Oregon?
Right.
But why would most of these guys, Buzz Williams, Frank, any of the guys that were brought up, I wouldn't have minded, but, a lot of those guys have went somewhere else after they built their career and left programs in bad places. Gates is yet to do that. He's young. Being the Missouri guy, I think you got to give him a chance. I'd have loved to see Kim English come from George Mason. I'd have loved to see Kim English because he's played at Mizzou, was part of that Elite 8 team. But that's how a lot of Mizzou fans feel. Like you just said,
why? Why even fire Konzo and bring in this guy when you don't know if it's going to be any better than that, right? Let's hope it is.
It is.
But you had some really good, there's a D2 coach out there in Missouri. Is it Northwest in Maryville?
Northwest Missouri
He's won
State.
2 national championships.
3 in the last 5 years.
This dude knows how to win.
Probably going to win 4 based on how Tuesday's night, of course, we record on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Northwest Missouri State in the Elite 8. Big shout out to Kevin. I know he's watching.
There's a big splash.
Right.
I would go after somebody like that. This just seems to be settling. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this guy's a superstar, does great,
He's
and
wrong.
stuff like that.
I'm telling you what, Dennis Gates,
Never happened
100% on the Dennis Gates train.
Okay, good.
He is going to return the Missouri basketball program back to where it's supposed to be. Really hasn't been there consistently since Norm left. Of course, Quinn had a little bit of success. Mike Anderson, pretty successful run. I even thought that would have been cool. No longer at Arkansas. Would Missouri fans welcome back Mike Anderson after he turned his back and went back to his home? Well, that's my favorite Mizzou coach ever had that I've been a fan of is Mike Anderson. But okay, on to NCAA tournament, which does not include Missouri. It does not include Cleveland State. Doesn't include any of the teams we've been talking about. And as we look at the brackets, here's what's funny. Leading the Lake TV brackets, because we had 7. Number 1 is Annie. she's got the most games right. And of her Sweet 16 teams, she's got 10 of the 16 left. Of her Final Four teams, she's got 1 of the 4 left. And her national champion, Iowa, got upset in the first round. Second place is Megan. I'm impressed here. Megan has got 10 of her 16 Sweet 16 left. 3 of her 4 Final Four teams left. However, the one knocked out is her national champion. Third place, probably sitting, you still got a shot here. Yeah. You got 10 of your 16 Sweet 16 left. You got 1 of your 4, and it's Gonzaga. So if they win it all, you very well could win the tournament. Fourth, Andrew. He's in okay shape, even without his national champion. Only 8 of 16 Sweet 16 teams left, but 3 of 4 Final Four teams. The only team that got knocked out was his national champion, Baylor. What a game.
Wow.
We were talking about that.
Yeah.
Are you down 25 points with 9 minutes to go? And I wanted them to win that so bad to keep me alive in
They were
this
your champion,
race.
too. Yeah.
Yes. Fifth is Dave. He's only got 7 of his 16 Sweet 16 teams left, but 2 of his 4 Final Four, including his national champion. Mm-hmm. He's got a pretty good shot. I've got 9 of my 16 Sweet 16 teams left, only 2 of my 4 Final Four, no national champion. And then 7th, who's probably got the most realistic chance to win this all, is Ricky. Currently in 7th, but he's looking good. 7 of his 16 teams left in the Sweet 16, but 3 of the 4 for the Final Four still alive, including his national champion, Kansas Jayhawks. So a good chance he could do that. We'll catch you up next week, because let's see. That'll be by the time we have Elite 8. We'll know the Elite 8 or the Final Four going into next show. So we can recap.
We'll know the Final Four, because they do Thursday and Friday, they do the Sweet 16, and then Saturday and Sunday,
Elite 8.
The Elite 8. Yeah.
Beautiful. And it's so much fun. I almost forgot, Chris, when we filled this out, because you and I haven't really paid attention to college basketball this year.
I didn't watch one game this year.
I watched some Mizzou basketball in heartbreaking fashion, but I didn't watch a lot of college basketball. But as I was filling this out and you're looking through the scores and watching these games on the weekend, you know, sitting in your recliner, I was like, man, imagine if Mizzou was in this, or Missouri State, or, you know, George Mason with Coach English. I was just thinking, this is so much fun. So over the next couple of years, can't wait to see Coach Gates get Missouri back in this. And it's either going to be you or Ricky. You know, you guys both have your national champion and Dave. So really, it's you, Ricky, or Dave.
More than likely.
It's going to be one of you three. Unless something crazy happens and Gonzaga and KU get knocked out, you know, in the Sweet 16.
I just want to remind everybody that I won the NFL regular season, so I am still the reigning champion of the NFL.
Which matters little now at this point. But I don't win a thing when it comes to this. All right, here's something that not many people...
Was it you? No, it was Ricky that won the pool last year, huh? I thought it was you, but Ricky beat me on the championship game.
That's true. You guys were like right there. All right, so here's something cool. We're talking about sports, and man, free agency carousels. You speaking of the NFL has been nuts. Quarterback galore, Matt Ryan, he's gone. I mean, there's been like 8 quarterbacks change. Russell Wilson to Denver. Drew Lock goes to Seattle.
The AFC West is going to be tough next year. It's not going to be easy for the Chiefs to win again, because the Chargers have beefed up and gotten better. The Broncos, they've got Russell freaking Wilson as their quarterback
and don't
now.
Sleep on the Raiders, who got Devontae Adams, as well as added probably the most solid defensive player in football over the last 5 years. You can say Aaron Donald, Von Miller. But Chandler Jones, he spent a lot of last year injured, still had 10.5 sacks, has more sacks than any player in the NFL since 2018. They really did beef up. The AFC as a whole probably has like 8 of the top 10 NFL teams going into this season. But here's a big signing that no one's talking about. Juju Smith-Schuster to the Chiefs. And the reason this is so big is because the price tag, initially reported as a $10 million deal, Chiefs were brilliant in the way they did this. It's a lot lower than that. The base value, $3.25 million. Of that amount, only $2.5 million is fully guaranteed at signing. He gets a signing bonus of $1.5 million and then a fully guaranteed base salary of $1.1 million. The rest of the base package comes from workout bonuses, meaning you have to work out every week, even in the voluntary, per game roster bonuses, and then the deal includes $7.5 million in incentives to make up that other remaining to get to 10. $2 million if the Chiefs get to the AFC Championship game. Meaning the Chiefs are smart. If they're not successful next year, a lot of this gets washed. When you talk about a guy like Zay Jones, his career high in the NFL is 560 yards last year with the Raiders, most coming in garbage time, and the Jaguars give him $10 million a year. I can get excited about a guy like this. Came in 2017, Chris, lit the NFL on fire. Rookie season, 7 touchdowns, 900 receiving yards. 2018, 1,400 yards with 111 catches. And then just 2 years ago, 97 catches with 9 scores. And he's done so really keeping his mouth shut, because when you look at Pittsburgh starting in 2017 through last year, what do you know about the Steelers and their saga from Antonio Brown, Chase Claypool, Big Ben leaving? I mean, it's been a struggle, and he's continued to keep his head up, keep his mouth shut, and I think he's one of the best locker room guys, and the Chiefs got him at a great price. Now you're talking Tyreek Hill, Juju, Travis Kelce, catching passes. When's the last time alongside Tyreek Hill the Chiefs had a considerable, serious number 2?
Yeah, that's a big move. That will definitely keep that offense at a high level, you would think, although they did struggle at times last year. My thoughts on the Chiefs, the whole key to the Chiefs being able to win a Super Bowl is they have to get the defense shored up. They've got to get stronger on defense. And they have made a big move or two. You were talking about the replacement of Honey Badger.
Overrated safety on his way out. They
Yeah.
got Eric Reed, 5-year deal. It looks like big. Maybe it was a 3-year deal, but it was big. I mean, for a safety, one of the best, maybe the best young safety in all of football, Eric Reed. That's a huge upgrade.
Honey Badger was just mailing it in last year. If you watch those games, he wouldn't hit.
Right.
Maybe he was hurt. I don't know. Or he was just ready to get out of it because he wasn't hitting anybody.
What made me the most mad about him is his body language to show up his other teammates numerous times. You know, if a corner got burnt or the other safety on the opposite side of him would get burnt, he would be seen with his arms in the air, like showing. You can't have that in a locker room. That's cancerous. You saw that in Arizona. You saw that at LSU in college before he got drafted. This is a big upgrade defensively. Of course, I expect Nick Bolton to be one of the best linebackers in football next year. He had a huge rookie campaign, and they've signed some of their guys and brought a few guys back. So be interesting to see. Now, as we move on, look at some upcoming Lake of the Ozarks events. By the time you see this, they've already happened, but the 2 forums that took place Monday night, the Camdenton Alderman 1 and 3, Award 1 and 3, Osage Beach City Mayor John Oliveri and Challenger, Michael Harmison. And then, of course, the board members for the Camdenton School District was Monday. Thursday, Osage School Board and Lake Ozark Alderman. Cool thing is you can watch those on Lake TV's Facebook page right now on demand at your convenience. You can forward, look through. Of course, all that presented by O'Sullivan Bruce Group. This Saturday is the Bridge and Dam Half Marathon and 5K. Man, that's a cool event. Even without the dam being open, they've got an alternative. You can go to bridgeanddamhalfmarathon.com. And, of course, for a full list of lake events, you can check out Weekend at the Lake with Bob Spicer every Thursday through Sunday right here on Lake TV, or go to funlake.com/events. If we look at what's happening on Lake TV, Community Spotlight Show, we got some local coaches, I believe.
Absolutely. We've got their track and field coach. You know her well, Miriam Hill.
Awesome
wonderful
family.
lady. Yeah, I just met her for the first time when she came on the Spotlight Show. And then that night I met her and her husband at the FCA dinner. And then David Flashpole, who just goes by Coach Flash.
Flash, baby.
Love that name, man. So Coach Flash is the baseball coach at Osage. So I actually talked with their activities director, and he says, why don't you talk to a couple of my coaches? And so that was great, a lot of fun. So you can see that 9, 3, and 7 every day on Lake TV. We got a new guest for you every week, and next week it's show number 2 of the Shore Family Football Legacy. So 50 years of the Shore family leading Camdenton football.
And I'll tell you what, you don't want to miss that. That was only going to be like a 3 or 4 part. You get talking with Jeff and Bob Shore. Those guys can talk, rightfully so. They got a lot of knowledge and fun things to talk about. Don't miss that.
Great
That's
stories.
next week on the Community Spotlight Show presented by Central Ozarks Medical Center. Of course, What's Burning, and I'll tell you what, KB not only on What's Burning, but I've been listening to the Key 89.3 a lot. He had a couple of the guests today from last night's forum. Of course, by the time you see this, that doesn't make sense. But he's doing some great things on there on the morning, the Daily Show every day with KB. And that series we're really focusing on right now through What's Burning is On the Trail with Bill Mulder. And how cool is that series?
That's been fantastic. Things that a lot of locals don't know about that they're showing us. It's great.
No doubt about it. You can catch What's Burning every day on Lake TV, 7 a.m., 5 p.m., and 11 p.m. Of course, lots more happening on Lake TV. That's going to do it for this week. For Uncle Chris, I'm Wild Will. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.